Hello, Mohit.
Yeah, hi. I'm available.
Hi.
I can hear you.
Great. So we'll just start.
Sure. One minute. Yes, we can. Yeah.
So, good evening, students and parents. I would like to start off with one of my favorite quotes by Malcolm X, which is very relevant today. In quotes, education is our passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to the people who prepare for it today. I'm Atir Hussain, and I'm the moderator of the day today. And through Ask IITians, which is India's #1 online education institute that has been helping students for nearly a decade now for the preparation of engineering and medical entrance exams, and also preparing the students for various foundation courses, along with Olympiads and scholarship tests, and producing top results constantly for the past half a decade. We would like to kickstart our first webinar out of the series of webinar planned for you parents and students. The whole idea behind the webinar is to help you be future ready by not listening only to top counselors or your relatives or even your well-wishers, but to actually help you interact and listen to the top industry veterans and how exactly the professional world has been developing over the years. So today, before I introduce our special guest for the evening, I would rather like to start off by telling a story because we all love stories, right? So I hope you like it. I'm just about to share my screen. Give me a second, please. Yeah, so let's start with the story, okay? So the title of the story is The Elephant Rope. I am sure, I'm not too sure, probably most of you have heard about it, not heard about it, but this is a very relevant story for all the students in today's world. So there was this gentleman who was just, walking around a village. He was new to the village. He was just walking around on his daily tour, right? Wherein he saw a giant elephant tied to a rope. He started imagining, why is this elephant tied to a rope? And that to such a meek rope, which, probably the elephant is strong, powerful, mighty. So for him, it is just a piece of cake, probably to break it and move away. But why isn't he doing it? So what he does is, as he asks, why not just break it and leave? Right? So that is a question that might come up in anybody's mind, correct? So the person who was actually taking care of the elephant, he said the elephant has been tied to the rope since his childhood. So this actually brings out a very valid and an important fact of life, that the moral of this story is whatever you think defines your future and it'll be like it. So whatever you choose to believe, right? And if you believe that you have great potential in you and act accordingly, you can make it. So the simple formula for success is very simple. It is mindset plus actions, and it is focused around the goals that you want to achieve. Simplified, you achieve success. And this is not only for your professional career or for your education, or this is actually applied in every aspect of your life, right? Now, why are we discussing this? What is the reason for it? Correct? Or why should somebody be well prepared right at the beginning, or have an understanding of how they need to prepare themselves? Correct? So there are certain strong facts, and these are all from reliable sources, from Economic Times, NDTV, other articles. So as per them, 94% of engineering graduates are not fit for hiring. That's a huge number, right? 94%. That's a very big number. Next, 84% of foreign medical degrees are not fit to practice in India. So there are so many people, we've seen, for medical education, they travel to multiple different countries. but 84% of them are not fit to practice in India. 93% of MBA graduates don't get jobs after passing out. Another big percentage that we're talking about. And 99% of the people select the wrong career path when they start, right? So that's a very big percentage, correct? So what are the common challenges? Why these huge percentages or why these huge numbers? So 93% of these students are not aware of the choice available to them. Many of them know very few career options, correct? They probably know about engineering, medical, or even in commerce, they might know about CA, CPT, or probably government exams. But there are so many new avenues that have come about over the course of years, right? And even if they're aware, there is very limited quality guidance or tools or support which is available to help them achieve it, correct? And there is no proven strategy or plan in their minds which can actually help them achieve it, correct? So these are the most common challenges that students and parents actually face while moving ahead, right? And we've seen that most successful people are the people who have a very focused approach in whatever they do, not only in the education field, but even in their professional world, or even in their personal aspects, correct? So we are here to help you guys today, right? And to take this forward, so today to help us, we have with us Mr. Mohit Rajpal, and he's currently the founding member and head GTM Partnerships and Business Operations, Eka.care. That is the name of the organization, which is a digitally enabled and connected healthcare ecosystem for better health outcomes, right? So just to give you all a brief about Mr. Mohit Rajpal, he's a startup specialist with over 14 years of combined experience in travel, tourism, e-commerce, travel technology, and internet industries. And he has been orchestrating sales and marketing, channel management, product and brand management, complete profit and loss management, and strategy execution in startups as well as in established businesses, right? He has also been a pioneer and led online product and business operations and built India's first taxi global distribution system. This is just amazing experience curve here, Mr. Mohit. And before we start, I would like to thank you on behalf of Ask IITians and the parents and students for taking out your valuable time from a busy schedule and helping us see and be better prepared for the future, right? So to start off with, Mohit, my first question, as always, is how did you start this journey? What were the factors that actually made you decide to, move towards this particular journey of yours?
All right. Thank you, Anand. Thanks for the wonderful, introduction. And I think that today's topic is like to be who wants to be their own boss. I think whosoever is
Yes.
listening, entrepreneurship is not like that. You want to be their own boss. Ideally, if someone becomes become an entrepreneur, ideally it's an opportunity for someone to solve something for the society. Second, to create employment. So this is what is entrepreneur. If you do it well, then definitely you become a boss for your own. This is what I define as a, you can say, the definition. On the other side, how did I decide? So in 2009, I was fortunate enough to work with Go IBGO, right? And got to work. You can say that I actually got a startup culture where you start from zero, right? And when you build from zero, you end up doing multiple things. You are actually managing operations, product. You try many products, then fail, and then start again, then again fail. That's it. But only one thing which we have learned in our careers, it's fail fast and execute fast. And even if you have to fail, then fail fast, right? Because it's not that whatever you do, you will always get a success, but whatever you do it fast. Because what we have realized that there are always be thinkers. A lot of people keep thinking that they're gonna launch this or that, but eventually who wins? Who execute fast. So this is what keeps motivating me. But how did I become an entrepreneur? Because I was in Dubai, was doing a fancy job. So ideally, doing my journey from 2009 to 14. with Go Vivo again, building from scratch and taking to a level. And when I was the Middle East head for Musafir, again the same story, building from zero and then taking to the next level. But I always wanted that when I can build for companies, why can't I build it for myself, right?
Mm.
This is where I decided that okay, in 2015 I would leave my fancy job and would get into the startup wave or become an entrepreneur. But before becoming an entrepreneur, you should have an idea, or you should have a clear mind whether it will solve for the community. If it's solving, then definitely can I take something out of it, because everyone has some aspirations or ambition to reach to some level. So this is what I had, and that forced me to become an entrepreneur, because there was a perfect idea, perfect time. Because if you remember that in 2014-15 it was a wave, then people used to talk about internet, right? And on the other side we had a real problem to solve, and the real problem was because it was into an intercity taxi, right? The problem was that if somebody wants to travel from one city to another city, how would they travel? Right? There was no mode available. While Ola and Uber had solved for point to point, but nobody had solved for the long journey, and people had to struggle. And even if they go for taxi operators, then there was no technology, right? They could not book online, and the taxi operators near to them used to charge for a return fare. So if I want to go to Agra, I don't want to come back, or if I even if I come back after 2 days, how do I book one way? The taxi operator used to charge two-way fare for me. So this is where we build a GDS, which is a global distribution system, where we ensure that we would get all these taxi operator onto the platform. They would manage their inventory from our system. Once they manage, on the other side we had a B2C platform as well, so that they start getting the demand. On the other side, since we were getting all the uh, taxi operators onto a platform, we wanted to distribute this supply to other travel players like Go Vivo, Make My Trip. If I'm a giant on the supply side, they would also sell my inventory. So
Mm.
that's the complete network effect we wanted to bring in. And I would say that yes, we could get success. We had many operators using it, and this that was the time that forced me that yes, right time, and yes, there was a problem which we had to solve, and we also had an idea that how can we solve it. So
Right.
that forced me to become an entrepreneur.
Okay, wonderful. So obviously, when you would have decided, Mohit, that you want to become an entrepreneur, there would have been, a lot of hurdles because obviously from a, day job, which is like a 9 to 5 shift and everything is, working in tandem to your schedule. All of a sudden, becoming an entrepreneur, changing your lifestyle. So how did you overcome these hurdles?
Yeah, I think very interesting question. I think while even in my during the corporate days, we used to work for close to 12 to 13 hours. But when you become an entrepreneur, then you are not responsible for one product or two. You are responsible for a company, right? People are looking at you. Your employees are looking at you. So one, it's not the only the growth aspect you have to solve. You have to solve everything, financial part of it, compliance, HR, everything. You have to look at it at every aspect, right? So for becoming an entrepreneur, or I would say in the hurdle, the first change which I realized is stop sketching and start building, right? That was the first thing. So that means execute fast. The second thing is, as an entrepreneur, you have to be 24 by 7, and you have to keep on trying till the time you don't get a success. So if you have that attitude and a mindset, definitely startup is the another thing for you. On the other side, I would definitely like to discuss a couple of things which I would say that yes, hurdle. So one thing is getting right team to the board. That's very important, right? Because one has to be very clear that they can only become as successful entrepreneurs if they have a right team backing them. If you don't have a right team, then while your idea would be very good, but you won't success till the time right people are at back at you. So the hurdle was just how do we get right people join us, right? While you have worked in corporates, spent close to 10, 12 hours, 10 to 12 years, but on the other side, nobody wants to take risk sometimes. So convincing them to your vision, convincing them to your ideas, like how would they grow and how would you grow, that was the first hurdle. But yes, we overcome with it. and we were fortunate that we had a good team join us, despite we not from the tech background. So the first struggle was that when we got our first CTO on board, and that could take our product to the next level.
Okay.
On the other side is the financial struggle. So as an entrepreneur, so if you are a visionary entrepreneur, you know that you're not building for a particular mass, right? You want that, yes, your product to go to a million of people using it, and it's going to the next level. For that, you need investors, right?
Mm.
And investors need a vision. They want that, yes, your portfolio or your company uh, should grow it to the next level, right? So making it sure that investors are liking your product, they are believing in your vision, and they're believing in your team. That's very important. So why I'm emphasizing on the team, because this is what is important for any startup, and it was important for us as well, right? So startup entrepreneur and their hurdles, it's not only related to build one business, it's just that they have to have all aspects. They need to ensure that they have a right team, right investors, and right policies, so that people are working and
Mm.
side by side they're enjoying too. The hurdle which definitely I would like to share, while it's a time of 2016 when we had an option that, okay, we will follow the conservative approach
Mm.
and not to full-fledged go on marketing. Uh, but I was in a view that, okay, uh, either we'll fail, or either we'll go to the next level, right? So the event which was happening in Rise, uh, while everyone was against to it, we shouldn't do it, and I was the one who was forcing that we should do it, despite we spend X number of, I would say, good amount of money, like some lakhs. And My Taxi India was the one company among other 100 companies who won the prize pitch award, right?
Okay.
So due to that, one, that we got a international fame, and on the other side, it also influenced some other investors to come into our company. So again, with the hurdles, you always have to be open to take risks. So nothing is calculated till the time you actually taste it. So it's a journey, and it's a loving journey. Keep trying, keep doing. I would say keep pushing yourself. Obviously, that hurdle will also be smooth. Will find the smooth way for you.
Great, great. So there was one point that you mentioned that obviously whenever there is a startup, there are hurdles. But I think since 2016, that specific time period that you've highlighted. So basically, in this decade, 2010 to 2020, we've seen a lot of startups mushroom, right? Especially in India, abroad, everywhere. So what do you think is the attribute? And because there's one point you've highlighted really well, that is everyone should have a unique proposition which is actually solving the problem, right? The problem statement, right? So there are so many organizations which probably are offering the same thing. So how does that value proposition differentiation is being created, and what is the major attribute? That is the major question here
Yeah.
that one should have.
Okay. So I think you wanted to ask, one should have the attitude one should have to become an entrepreneur, right?
Yes, please. Yes.
So in my view, to become an entrepreneur, uh, one should have a out of box thinking, right, and a great idea, and ambition that, yes, he's ready to work for 24 by 7, right? He should
Mhm.
not be influenced that, yes, everyone is saying yes to my product, but on the other side, he should be innovative, because despite whatever the product is, you have to keep on innovating. The moment you launch, you will see that competition catching up, or someone
Yeah.
else taking the same approach and taking it forward. So innovation plays a good role, while yes, out of the box thinking is very important. And on the other side, ambition and dedication, it plays a major role, right? While you have to keep changing if something is not working, but the focus is very important, right? So if you have all these qualities, definitely, it. I ask people and tell people, yes, you should solve something for the community or society. That is what
Right.
entrepreneurship is, and create employment, right? So that people don't move out. And generally now it doesn't happen. People want to stay in India, and there are many opportunities. So that's what one should have.
Great, great, wonderful. So, what do you think, is the right age to start? So, because we've seen, there are so many ideas that, even students come up with. So, probably, there can be any student who is looking at this video and, would be inspired by you to become one. So, what is the right age?
So, good question, right? While and I will give the answer in a diplomatic way because ideally
Okay.
there is no age for becoming an entrepreneur, right?
Hmm.
And what is the right age? I have seen people becoming an entrepreneur at an age of 40. I have seen people becoming at an age of 24, 25 when they pass out from college, right? The only suggestion would be that when you want to become an entrepreneur, get some corporate experience so that you actually know the practical knowledge as well, right? Generally, what is the trend being seen that once you come out from any IIT college, right, you have an idea, you know the concept, but you fail because you don't know how to grow the business. Because eventually, to grow the business, you should be knowing what are the go-to-market strategies. What
Correct.
what do you need to do? Because when you're a startup, you actually would have a very limited money to spend on marketing. So how can you ensure that your business is growing with some non-brand channels? Either it could be partnerships, it could be affiliates. There are many ways, right? How can you ensure that your business is growing and seeing some traction? So the suggestion would be that yes, the right age would be like either you become an entrepreneur between 24 to 27 when you're actually out by getting it 2 3 years of corporate experience, or you actually become an entrepreneur after 32, 33, when you have a good 7, 8, or 10 years of corporate experience, so that you're actually grilled. And grilled in the sense you have actually seen all up and downs in the corporates, like how the actually uh, product or companies are being done, what are the policies are there, what is valuation. You know a lot of aspects. And second, because when you work in corporate, you can attract a lot of talent as well. So
Right.
these are the two aspects, or I can say that could be the best timing for the entrepreneur. Otherwise, now, even if you are at 40s and you are solving a right problem, you can start anytime. The best time to start is now. So despite whether you are 28 or 40.
Absolutely. I completely agree to that point. So there's basically no age, to make that decision if you have the right, focus, vision as to what problem you're solving. Absolutely. Absolutely. So there's another point, to take this forward, this statement of yours. So because obviously you said that, you should have certain, corporate exposure before, getting into this entrepreneurship journey. So, what are the technical or theoretical skill sets that you think that a successful entrepreneur should have or they should possess? So that even our students can, probably if they're thinking, can work on that particular module as well.
So the successful entrepreneur, while you should have a wise idea, which is solving for the community, like it's a 1.38 billion population, right? And in which 41% we have internet user, like close to 845 million, right? If you're solving for them, you should have a very right set of a problem. In my view, you find anywhere, you will find some problem, right? So if you have a right problem, reaching out to people is not a problem. So India is so big, definitely you can sell to them. What is important is, what is my go-to market strategy?
Hmm.
Like I said, that everyone has an idea. Who wins? Who execute fast? One thing is that your execution capability should be very fast. You should be always first to the market. Otherwise, other one would come and launch it. Second is go to market. When you launch, what are you going to tell to the people, like who are you? Like today, when you look for, let's say, taxi, or you look for, let's say, hotel, what it comes in your mind? You have certain brands which always comes in your mind, because the go to market strategy is very simple. That one should have it. Like when I'm communicating to Indians, or when I'm communicating to the audience, my communication should be very simple. Who am I?
Right.
My product experience should be very simple, that what I'm trying to do. And when they come to my platform, I would give them the awesome experience so that they stick to my platform. If I follow this core, I'm sure I will win the race. While the journey could be slow, but a day would come when I would say that yes, I've succeeded.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Great. So there's one important aspect, for anybody to take any kind of decision, because there are always motivators and icons, right? So everybody looks at someone and wishes to be like them, So who are your motivators? Who are your icons? Any story behind that? Have you met anybody personally as well?
yeah. So I while definitely I keep something or the other keep inspiring me, right? While I am fortunate that I happen to work with some good minds, which is one is Ashish Kashyap, is GoIBO CEO, followed by Deepak Tuli and Vikalp Sani, along with Sanjay Bhasin. They are the good minds, I would say, who gave me the opportunity, right? And where I could learn and actually could go to the next level. On the other side, what inspires me? So Vijay Shekhar Sharma of Paytm inspires me, right? I've met him personally. Why? So if you actually see the Paytm journey, right? What I like in them, they execute fast. And this, I really want to give a stamp to it. It's not that once you become a big company, then you should stop executing, or let's say you should stop executing fast. Paytm being at a scale, they kept up innovating and executing fast. I still remember when the this demonetization happened.
Hmm.
You can say there were many players, but who won it? Paytm.
Right.
It's not that they knew that the demonetization had to happen, but they were the first one who ensure that the Paytm wallet is reaching to across the country. So that's what I can say. They won the race. So today, what it comes in mind is Paytm for a wallet first. So Vijay Shekhar Sharma inspired me a lot, right? Because he executes really fast. Along with that, he keeps on motivating. So keep on innovating.
Right. So anybody else other than Mr. Vijay Shekhar Sharma? Anybody else?
Vijay, then I think the four name which I took it, right?
Yeah.
They're the ones. So right minds keep on inspiring. Ashish Kashyap is one of them, right? While after
Hmm.
building Go, I we go again, IND money, and again he's been doing a great job. So while I've worked very closely with them, then followed by Deepak, Vikas, Sanjay sir. So I've worked very closely with them. While
Right.
you name it, like there are many founders,
Hmm.
but if I say that inspire, PSS is the one, and there is a reason to it.
Okay. So I just have another question, and this is from one of the parents here. So how important is it to graduate from a top college? Because obviously, if you want corporate experience, or if you want to reach to the top management level, probably the backing of a good, recognized, and a stamped driven university is required, right? So how do you think this is important to become a successful entrepreneur?
Okay. Uh, so one thing is that definitely in the current world, the education is must, and if you are passed out from some top B schools, definitely you would be given some preference. But it's not the case like if you're not passed out from top B school, you would not be evaluated. Depends that how smart you are. There are, you know, there are some students or some people who learn uh, when they're actually studying, basically theoretical, and there are some people who learn on the job,
Hmm.
and when they learn on the job, they actually put their thoughts in a different way, right? Which I can say could be a smart thinker and a smart executor. So one thing which I would like to add here is it's okay, right? Matlab, you have to be very smart when you're working, right? And you have to keep on learning with your mistakes.
Right.
The entrepreneur mindset is quite different. Like it's not that if I am IIT, I am passed out from IIM Ahmedabad, I would be the successful entrepreneur. No. While yes, my stamp says that yes, I can be a good entrepreneur, but it requires a different zeal, different motivation and dedication. There could be a possibility that one who is IIT I'm passed out, but he is not willing to spend 17, 18 hours a day, which one startup needs it.
Mm.
Or he's not thinking something out of the box, which can other do. So in my view, first, it is not important. Second, learn from mistake. Keep on trying. As an entrepreneur, if you have tried, it's not worked out, please try something else. This is what we are doing in our current startup as well. We just believe in one thing. Please fail fast, execute fast. It's fine. We will find our way. This is what call a startup. So today, when you think that okay, I would launch this product, I'm 100% sure after a year it will be a different stage, because when you actually go on a ground, the reality is pretty different. So you have
Correct.
to accept and keep changing, keep learning from your mistakes. But make sure that when you learn from your mistakes, you don't repeat it again. This is what one has to follow. And when you follow, please think deep, go deep, so that you cover all the aspects. And when you reach out to the audience or users, actually, your I would say the excellence of your product or excellence of your uh, company should come out.
Right, right. So I think my final question to you, Mohit, will be, any advice other than, the valuable words and, terms that you've shared with us today. So any advice you'd like to share with the younger generation, how they can learn from their mistakes, because that is a valid point that you mentioned, right? So you should keep learning from your mistakes. So how do they do that? And anything that specifically, if you can share from a real life experience of yours, so that they actually understand. So any last advice, anything that you can share with us, please?
Yeah. So one thing is that which I mentioned earlier as well, like stop sketching and start building, right? So you will not actually learn from your mistake till the time you start. So please start if you have some idea. Do the complete research and please speak to minimum 100 to 200 people about your idea, and please don't be afraid if somebody says that okay, it will not going to work. So if they're saying no to your face, please accept it. And on the other side, the advice would be, and which definitely I would like to share, the real example from my learning is, uh, in 2016, I think, when this yeah, in 2016, while we were getting all the taxi operators onto a platform, right? Uh, we also wanted to ensure that uh, we have all wallets available in our taxis, like it used to happen in uh, other taxis like Ola, Uber taxis, right?
Hmm.
While yes, the volume was low and the supply was to the decent level. So what we did, we started approaching the big bodies like Paytm of the world. That okay,
Mhm.
why can't we have a partnership with you? While definitely it was an aspiration that if they join our hand, our journey would be very easy. So then we found that yes, it's a very time consuming process, and it's the work which should happen like 3 months, it's taking 6 to 7 months. So the success story from the mistake, which what we learned, we went to Mastercard, which is not even small, but yes, they were launching Bharat Pay. So they were the
Okay.
startup and could understand the pain of the startup. While they were not small, right? So ideally, uh, I would say that it was a startup under big umbrella. We went, pitched them, and we got a success in like just 30 days. So sometimes you have to evaluate like at what stage you are, and accordingly pitch the partners or audience accordingly. Because yes, while it's an aspiration that they should be your partner, but there are some stages when you should go there. So that only comes in when you think really deep about your product and you take inputs from others. So this is the real time uh, experience I wanted to go.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, Mohit. There's a lot more that we can learn from your experience, and we would like to let you know that this has been a wonderful interaction, right? And again, on behalf of Ask IITians, I would just like to thank you and all the parents and students, because I don't think there is any other query from any parent at the moment. But yes, the session has been wonderful, right? We would want to take this further if there are certain questions that come up, and we would want to invite you again for such a valuable
Sure.
session once again, please. Right. So thank you so much, Mohit, once again, and all the parents and students who have taken out your valuable time to join us live here for this absolutely amazing and intellectual webinar. Right? Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Mohit.
Thank you so much, Adit. My
Appreciate it.
pleasure.
Appreciate it. So, parents and students, we have another one lined up on the 13th of November 21 at the same time. And the topic we'll be focusing on will be the career transformation in the healthcare industry post and pre-COVID era. So, thank you all once again and hope to see you all very soon again. Yeah. Take care and be safe. Thank you, Mohit. Take care. Good day.
Thank you.